So for Black History tonight, let's actually talk about Uncle Ben and the dark history behind this brand. Uncle Ben's Rice actually started off as a company called Covered Rice Brand, in which in the 1940s they were looking for a major rebrand. Now, the guy that you know as Uncle Ben, his real name is Frank Brown. He's from Chicago, and he was a maitre d' at a restaurant in a hotel in Chicago that was really popular, in which the owner from the Covered Rice brand used to frequent a lot when he came up to Chicago from Texas. Being that he was now becoming friends with Frank Brown, he asked him if he could use his likeness. Now, Frank Brown did know how to read and write, but there's no way he understood these contracts of what his likeness was going to be used for. Supposedly, it was explained to him that it was going to be used in a campaign ad, kind of a one-time use deal, and he was paid a very small amount, less than what you would call like $50 at the time. Realistically, even for that time, he should have been paid a substantial amount because he would become the face of a brand. Now, when it comes to the name Uncle Ben, Uncle Ben's Plantation Rice was actually a man down in Texas who had a small plantation and sold rice. He was a black man, and because white people didn't want to put him on the same level, instead of calling him Mr. Ben, they called him Uncle Ben. Now, down in Texas, his rice had a name for itself, he had a good reputation, and it sold well. When the war came around, he sold rice to the U.S. government, and he got a little national recognition for it. After his passing, Cover Rice brand changed their name to Uncle Ben's Rice, and they started using Frank Brown as the face of the company for Uncle Ben's Rice. Now, years went by before people started uncovering the history behind this, and rightfully so got upset. You had two families that were wrong and never fairly compensated for their likeness or name. In 2007, due to backlash, they rebranded again slightly, naming Uncle Ben the board chairman of the brand, even though he had been dead for years. In 2020, after the story was re-released again and backlash happened with this and several other brands, they finally removed his face, as well as several other brands, including Aunt Jemima pancakes. To this day, neither one of those families have ever been compensated. Not Frank Brown's family or Uncle Ben's Plantation Rice's family. And that's the dark history behind Uncle Ben's Rice.